That's kind of weird. Just joking. Okay.
Oh, we still talking about traction?
Hey everyone, Dr. Todd from Gonstead Spine and Wellness. In this video, we're going to go through what's called a correction potential x-ray. It's essentially, we take a patient, we put them in traction, we bend the spine, and then we take an x-ray in that position to see how far the spine can bend compared to their normal x-ray, which is abnormally bent in a bad posture. And then we put them side by side and we get an idea of how much change we can make for this patient in what time frame. So check out this video. I'm gonna play it and pause it. This is some footage that we took earlier this week. I'm gonna talk through it and I'm gonna show you the before and after x-ray, and I'm gonna explain what that means for this patient. So before we jump into that, make sure that you subscribe to our channel, like, comment, do all that, get this information out to more people. This is a very unique thing that we do in our clinic that most clinics out there in the world are not doing. This is part of something called Chiropractic Biophysics. If you want to learn more about their systems and techniques, we'll have a link below so you can check that out. And understand we serve two different audiences. One is our community, patients, people all around the country, the world that just want to learn about natural health and healing, how to fix their problems, whether they want to come in and visit us in our clinic in Meridian, Idaho, or they just want to empower themselves with knowledge and maybe try to find another practitioner near them depending on where you live. The second audience that we serve are chiropractors. We teach chiropractors how to integrate their practice with functional movement. So functional movement piece, we don't cover that in this video. We have other videos. I'll link something out above to give you some information about that, but there's a link below for movenowu.com if you're a chiropractor watching this. So with that said, let's get rolling. We're walking into the x-ray room here. Tyler's set up, ready to go into a correction potential position. We're gonna put him in traction. This is similar to the traction setup that he does in clinic. It's different though in that this is an upright unit. He's seated upright. There's harnesses behind the shoulders, about to hold him in place while we pull his spine forward. What's that? Sure.
For the standard x-ray right here, as you can see, there's too much curve in the mid back. We're trying to reduce the...
So way too much curve in his mid back. The green line's normal, red line's abnormal. We can show you some other videos on x-ray analysis and how we go through this. So check out a link above and you can look through how we do this analysis, the red line, green line analysis. Again, this is the Chiropractic Biophysics analysis. In our clinic, we do three things. We do Gonstead Chiropractic for specific segmental spine analysis, extremity joint analysis, adjusting, that's Gonstead. We do Chiropractic Biophysics for curve correction. This is a Chiropractic Biophysics or CBP part of what we do right here. And then we do functional movement. So we measure movement and then we fix movement patterns. So we address the segment, posture, movement trio. All right, this part is the CBP, the Chiropractic Biophysics part, just to clarify for you out there. This is not the standard in every Gonstead clinic. Quite the opposite. This is a rarity. This is a specialty.
Curve and pull this forward, and that's what we're doing this traction. We're doing a lay down traction right now.
So this is the setup that he does in office. We take pictures of this. We put together what's called a traction card, and there's notes on here that our staff knows how to set someone up, knows how to progress them. This is how we're starting with him as far as laying down. We may change this and have him do this seated in office, but we're basically doing the same thing, and then we're just taking him laying down, putting him seated, and we're testing this in the x-ray position.
Something like this. We're going to try doing this in the seated position just for testing purposes, so we get an idea of how the spine is bending, how malleable it is, if it's bending in the area that we think it is.
And so what I'm saying is that we're testing to see if it's bending and doing what we think it's going to do. That's just it. We think it's going to do something. This is a testing process so that before he goes through 3 months of care, because that's the standard of what we do, is we go through 3 months of exercise adjustment, traction, functional movement, manual therapy, mobility, all these different things where we're addressing the cause of the problem, the root cause from multiple different angles. Before we go through all this, we want to test this to see if it's doing what we think it's doing and how much does his spine bend right from the get-go of just seeing a couple weeks into care, how much can it bend? And then that helps us set expectations for the next 3 months of how much curve correction we can anticipate seeing.
And again, we do this sometimes to test where someone's at, and we might even repeat this with you in 3 months to see how you do after we get you more malleable in traction. That said, I'm going to hand this camera over to someone else. I'm going to throw this around.
This is just showing the setup process, how we go ahead and set up. I'll speed this up a little bit. So there's various straps and harnesses. We get them in place. A couple things I changed in the middle of this because I saw how his body was responding to this, and I decided to mix it up a little bit. So pulleys and harnesses. And so notice with this unit was specially designed to fit around our x-ray frame. So this gray colored traction unit rolls into place, and then it locks in place around our x-ray frame. So just precisely so we can do these types of tests. So very specialized equipment. Okay, we're getting to the point where we're getting ready to start loading this up, meaning starting to crank the cranks, load tension, so he's in place. I believe right when we get him in place, then we crank it a little bit more. And I say uncle.
No, I mean, it doesn't hurt, it's stretching and making me feel it.
And this can be pretty challenging. It's called a correction potential x-ray or a stress x-ray. And the goal is not to put someone in pain, but it's to challenge them, take them as far as they can go before they say, it's about all I can do.
All right, bear with me. All right, bear with me. Hold still, don't move.
So we take the x-ray,
Let's see.
and then the cool thing about digital is it just pops up on the screen. Notice over here on this left screen, we have his original x-ray. So we have that up so we can use that as a reference. Now when it takes the x-ray, it flips it the other direction. So the spine's actually bending the other way here on this x-ray as we're taking it live. We'll have this all flipped around. We'll show you up on screen. Okay. And so let's talk to him here.
All right, this is a post traction aftermath. How was that?
Wasn't too bad. It was good.
Be honest.
No, I mean, it doesn't feel great, but it doesn't hurt. It's not terrible.
All right, so here's the x-ray. Jenna's put this together. We'll get it stitched, and we'll do it.
And stitching is a process of taking these two images and then putting them together in the computer so it looks like one continuous image. And then we'll mark and analyze
Compare
this.
it side by side from the original, and then we'll be able to get an idea. So right there's an 81-degree thoracic curve.
That's too much. You should have a mid 40-degree curve. That 44 degrees that you see in parentheses next to the 81.4 degree number, that's the normal. He should be closer to that, but he's 85% gained over normal. That's a problem. As we know, we talked about this in previous other videos, a thoracic hyperkyphosis, too much curve, leads to a reduced life expectancy. There's studies, there's research that shows this. He has what's called a Scheuermann's kyphosis, meaning he's always had this bend and curve in his spine. It's been multiple years. He's noticed this since he was a kid, and now he's in his 30s, and we're starting to address this. And side note, he's someone who I met actually a couple years back, noticed his posture, started talking to him about it, gave him a card. He said, yeah, I should come in. Well, I saw him again about a month ago, and he remembered me and I remembered him, and we started a conversation again, and he said, okay, I'm coming in. So now he's in and he's going through this. And that's how he ended up in the clinic, is it took a couple years. He's having pain. He's not just hurting in his mid back, but he's hurting in his low back, because when you have that much of an abnormal curve in the spine, let me back this up and I'll show you. So that much abnormal curve in the spine right there, what happens, if you drop a gravity line, okay, that line, gravity, plumb line, is way behind his pelvis. That's not good. So it's causing the joints to extend and to cause all the stress in the lower back area. So if we can pull that forward, that's gonna help with this lower back region tremendously. All right, so we're gonna pull this forward, try to flatten this out. That is the goal.
Be able to get an idea, thoracic curve, and the goal is to see how much we can flatten that out. and then set some realistic goals of what we're expecting to see after finishing 12 weeks of in-office care, adjustment, exercise, traction, functional movement. That's the goal. What do you think about that, Jenna?
I think that's a great idea.
And way zoomed in.
Super close up on Jenna. Okay. Sorry, Jenna, I'm gonna leave it here and just make you feel awkward when you watch this video. You're gonna say, Dr. Todd, why'd you do this? So Jenna's my assistant, our new patient coordinator. She's amazing, just like all of our other staff in our clinic. We have an amazing team out here at Gonstead Spine and Wellness. I'm really fortunate for that. Jenna and I spend a lot of time together. She is my assistant. Her and I are in the room and following each other around pretty much all day long, taking care of patients. Next, what I'm gonna show you is I'm gonna show you the x-rays, the before and after x-rays we have marked up. Okay, so let's take a look. All right, so now you can see the before and after x-ray. You can see his before x-ray there on the left side, and you can see where he's at measurement-wise, and you can see the follow-up x-ray where we were able to reduce that mid-back curve pretty significantly. So now this goes into figuring out a calculation of how much change, how much expectation for change, setting goals, so that in 3 months from now, when we do his comparative x-ray, we're gonna see how far we got. So we'll do another follow-up video for you. We'll show you how far he got as he goes through this process. This again is the correction potential x-ray, the stress x-ray. This is what we do in this unique style of practice where we address segment, posture, movement at Gonstead Spine and Wellness. So when it comes to the health of you and your family, results matter most. Dr. Todd signing out. We'll see you on the next video.